Hi, my name's Cavan Cato, and my company's called Blanc Smile. It's called White Smile in French. So I was 17, I was going to college, and I was working in Sainsbury's. I bought my first car, and I had an incident with the car. My car was stolen, and as a result of that, I got myself in a bit of an altercation with someone, which resulted in me going to jail. I know a lot of people, like growing up, so I just utilised the people that I know and decided to get into the teeth whitening industry.
Because if you go on your social media, I mean, the first picture I saw was missed.
Yeah.
So you'd whiten his teeth.
Yeah. What it is it can become like a spiral of events. Without my clients, without the people that I know, I wouldn't be here. I'm not ignorant to think that I've just done this all by myself.
Hi guys, CEOCAST, and today we are with Cavan. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Cavan Cato. I'm a master Psych-k facilitator, teeth whitening technician. I also do healing work with colour, light and sound.
So just a quick one. What do you mean by, so we can probably understand what teeth whitening means. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by colour and healing and light heating?
Right,
Healing,
so with the light healing, I do gong baths with people. I have a Buddha bowls, and it lets off a certain frequency that resonates with certain emotions in your body. With the color healing, I use various cards to put across your body to find out where there's any trauma or any infections or anything like that. So that's that part of that.
So in terms of the teeth whitening, what is your company called?
My company's called Blanc Smile. It's called White Smile in French. Thought of the name because I always thought of different international names to use for the name of my company. It's just a thought that I always had. So I decided to use, for teeth whitening, Blanc Smile.
Yeah, sounds nice anyway. Yeah, but yeah, in terms of background, what about yourself? What did you do before that, and how did you come about with Blanc Smile?
Well, what happened is, in the beginning, I was working in Sainsbury's. That's when I was at college at the same time.
Sorry, just how old were you at this point?
Oh, I was 17.
Okay,
I was 17, yeah. So I was 17, I was going to college, and I was working in Sainsbury's. I bought my first car, and I had an incident with the car. My car was stolen, and as a result of that, I got myself in a bit of an altercation with someone, which resulted in me going to jail. And then when I arrived home from jail, I started to mix with a different sort of crowd, which then led me to being on the streets, not homeless, but doing things on the streets that I shouldn't be doing.
Around not bad.
Yeah, it's like low frequency stuff.
Yeah.
So I was in that for a long time, for years. I'm 60? No, I'm 35 right now. 36, sorry, just turned 36. But about 3 years ago is when I totally just stopped. And I just, I've weaned off of it. And then I went to America to live in LA for a year and found myself. So yeah, and I just...
so you found yourself in LA, is it?
Yeah. Well, I've always been finding myself, but when I had a major transition, it was when I was in LA.
Okay, and that's when did you come back to, obviously you came back to the UK after?
Came back to the UK, but the time just before I went to America is when I started at the teeth whitening.
Okay, yeah. So you started the teeth whitening in America, is it? I
was doing it before America, and I was doing it in America as well.
Okay.
A bit, yeah.
Okay, so where would you say your big break for the business is? Because I've seen your Instagram, I know you, and you're very busy all the time.
Yeah, so what it is with the teeth whitening, I know a lot of people, like growing up, so I just utilised the people that I know and decided to get into the teeth whitening industry. I had my teeth whitened before. I thought I could do this, did a course, and I got into it and just utilised people that I know. So
yeah, no, that sounds cool. So, but just based on people that you know, as you were saying to me earlier in the podcast, before the podcast, what sort of people are you talking about? Because you grew up in what area?
Southeast London. There's a lot of artists, footballers that come out of Southeast London.
So you had quite a bit of a connection with them as well. So that's how you.
So I'm doing teeth whitening now.
Yeah.
Got connected like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, because if you go on your social media, I mean, the first picture I saw was missed.
Yeah.
So you'd whiten his teeth, is it?
Yeah. What it is it can become like a spiral of events will happen, especially when people see me doing other artists, footballers, athletes.
Like they want to get their work done.
So obviously they want to get involved as well. They see the results.
Yeah. They want to do a bit more and stuff like that.
Yeah. Everyone wants to be involved.
So since you started using social media, how would you say that's helped you in terms of?
The first year I did it, it was very, very busy.
Yeah.
It's still busy now. It's good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't complain. But the thing is, there's loads of other people that start to do it.
Yeah.
And they like drop their prices, become a bit competitive. But I'm still busy, and I still hold the quality. So, you know, I had someone today, in fact, and it was like a horror story he was telling me. Well, not a horror story, he just didn't have no result at all. It was the same as he walked in.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Got charged for nothing, basically.
Basically, yes.
Okay, so back to the business side of things in terms of Blanc Smile.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you initially start? Or like you said, you've done the course and you've done your clients.
So I was doing it for quite cheap in the beginning. I wasn't selling myself like that, but I was doing it a bit cheap in the beginning, doing deals.
Yeah.
I just learned, even being on the street, that how to treat people still.
Yeah.
How to have a good rapport with people.
Yeah.
And when you have a good rapport with people,
they'll keep coming back to you.
Yeah. You know.
It's just repetitive.
It's repetitive. Yeah.
So, I mean, like you were saying just now, or like I was saying, so how long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing it for about 3 years.
3 years, yeah? That's just Blanc Smile, not just...
Blanc Smile for 3 years. Then I've always been quite spiritual. We are all spiritual.
Yeah.
Whether we know it or not, we are. And I started to dig into things because I wanted to know, I knew there was something missing.
Yeah.
And I knew that a lot of people had problems because as a child, I was always trying to help people with their problems and I wasn't even helping myself.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was searching for a way to
tap into someone,
tap into the inner me, and be able to control my thoughts and control my and have a different perception of life. So
what is it that you call your spirit work almost? What do you call that?
Right, okay. So it's a thing called Psych-k.
Yeah.
And Psych-k is changing subconscious beliefs. So the spirit side of it, Psych-k is a spiritual exercise. You can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know,
it's in the back of your mind. It's your subconscious.
It's your subconscious. And I'm going to explain because I don't want to confuse people what the subconscious mind is.
Yeah.
So how the subconscious mind works. As a child, for the first 7 years of a child's life, you're under a stage of hypnosis. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like you're a zombie. You got two hands in front of you. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But you're under a stage called theta, which is a stage of hypnosis. And what happens? Anything that you experience in the first 7 years of your life, it's being recorded by your subconscious mind, which is your original mind.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happens is different beliefs get dropped into the subconscious mind, but it's totally habitual.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a guy called Bruce Lipton where I got this information from.
So is that the person you researched essentially?
Yeah. I look at them as like people like him as like my teachers.
Okay.
So I'd always refer to them as my teachers.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So I got a lot of information from Bruce Lipton about this. And then Bruce Lipton mentioned something about Psych-k, how to change the subconscious, because from 8 onwards, you start to create reality from the programs that you've been installed with. So if you had parents that were arguing, if you had parents that were fighting, if you had siblings that were fighting, or people around you was fighting, then you're going to grow up fighting the majority of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
If you was made to believe, or you had a perception that you're not loved, then 95% of your day, you're going to sabotage yourself not to love yourself.
Yeah, that's deep when you think about it.
It's deep. And then also, if you was a child in a store, you know, and you had like 3 brothers with you, and you got told you don't deserve to have it because you were naughty, all you're hearing is you do not deserve, but the rest of the siblings do.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you'll sabotage your life doing.
Yeah.
95 to 98% of the day, you're going to sabotage yourself to feel like you do not deserve.
So going into this, how would you say that sort of information or inner thoughts helps you help other people in that sense?
Well, for me, that's a really good question, actually.
It's quite intriguing, actually.
Yeah, so I started to do Psych-k because Bruce Lipton mentioned that you can change someone's belief they've had their whole life in 15-20 minutes. So I thought it was very necessary for me to learn.
Yeah.
So when I work with people, I work with someone today. I don't talk about people's stories unless they're open about it. And so I work with someone stressed out, which is very normal for me to come across.
Yeah.
And I got them into the whole brain posture. So what I was saying, when you're angry, you're only thinking from one side of your brain.
Yeah.
But when you do a balance, you're thinking whole brain. And I do like to deal with people that have trauma in their life, massive trauma, because it's a stress transformation balance. Yeah. It depends on how deep the stress is, but averagely it takes about 10 minutes for a full stress transformation.
Okay, yeah.
Something that you've had your whole life just changing, how you feel about it. It almost puts you look at it as if like it was a movie.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So if I was to come to you and say, Cavan, as if like I was one of your clients, if I was to come to you and say, oh, Cavan, I can't seem to find myself, I feel like I'm lost in this world, or don't know what my purpose is, how would you take it from there?
Right. First of all, I would get the person back into a position of power.
Yeah.
Because everything you just said was negative affirmations.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough, yeah.
So first of all, it's dealing with the inner conversation. Okay. If you've got negative self-talk, then you're going to create a negative life for yourself.
Yeah.
So that alone, when I explain it in more detail, it puts the person back into a position of power. And what I always say to people is stay out of the rear view mirror, because if you're driving, you know how to drive. Driving in like 30 seconds on the motorway, you're going to crash because you're too busy looking in the past. So that's a simple example I give people.
Yeah, it's like you were saying to me earlier, before we started recording, you should always have something to
fall forward on.
Yeah,
you never want to fall back in life.
Yeah.
And another thing I was saying is work smart, not hard.
Yeah, no, a lot of people say that as well. It used to be saying work hard, play hard, or something along the lines, but people have got smarter nowadays, realize that, okay, working in this sort of specific way,
yes,
might not be working as hard, but you're working a lot smarter about how you do things in order to succeed a lot quicker or more efficiently than what you would if you were doing like a 24/7 job.
Right,
like
exactly.
Yeah. So I think this would be quite interesting to talk about, because obviously
move that out the way. That's all right.
Obviously, with the spiritual side of things, and to do with like almost like your brain and mentality,
it's your mind.
Obviously, I've set this podcast up in terms of CEOs and the business owners and stuff like that, and entrepreneurs mainly. So I wanted to ask you, the mindset of an entrepreneur is said to be that they're probably more stressed than anyone else